Just when we all thought Justin Fields was coming back, Matt Eberflus announced this morning, October 30th, 2023, that Tyson Bagent will be the starter in New Orleans during their Week 9 matchup. Justin Fields is currently week to week, according to Eberflus when he was speaking to ESPN 1000 this morning. So you'll see the undrafted rookie free agent from Shepherd again start for the third game in a row for the Chicago Bears against a very tough Saints defense. Also, we got trade rumors about Jaylon Johnson that are going around as the trade line approaches. And finally, some extra thoughts on Chase Young coming to the Chicago Bears potentially at the deadline. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, and thank you for always for tuning in. I am okay with Tyson Bagent being the starter again. And honestly, yes, I don't think he has played bad at all. Luke Getsy is the problem for Bagent, and if you give him a competent offensive coordinated mind like Ben Johnson from Detroit, Tyson Bagent would look like an MVP out there. Before I jump into more, please hit the like button on this video, put your thoughts in the comments section below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news. So let's talk about the Tyson Bagent topic of him starting this week again. Justin Fields last week said, "I will be back for New Orleans," and then suddenly Matt Eberflus goes, not so fast. Fields is still recovering from a dislocated thumb that he suffered against the Minnesota Vikings a few weeks back, and that is forcing Tyson Bagent to be the starter again. And I'm going to explain why I'm not mad about it. His stats so far are a lot better than people think. Through 10 quarters of football, Tyson Bagent has 477 passing yards. He had 232, a career high last game against the Chargers. On top of that, he has 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Again, all in 10 quarters. So if Bagent would have played all year, and this is just me being a nerd and doing the average math, still with that 70% completion percentage, which is very impressive, by the way, he'd have a little over 1,500 yards, 6 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 4 rushing touchdowns. The interceptions aren't ideal, but his overall touchdown percentage to this offense outweighs it. By 1, it doesn't matter. Guy's still scoring the ball. And do I think he could have done what he did against like Justin Fields with the Commanders and Broncos? 100% absolutely he could have. Let's be honest. The 3 interceptions, not his fault. And hang on before you get all crazy. The underthrow to DJ Moore against the Minnesota Vikings, Bagent was literally being knocked into his offensive lineman in front of him in Larry Borum, causing him to underthrow it. Then his first one against the Chargers bounced off his receiver's hands. And the third one, interception, the second one of the night against LA, his wide receivers ran the wrong route. You can even see the confusion on the field. So Bagent is quarterback 1 entering the Saints game. And I swear to God, if Luke Getsy doesn't have a plan for him this upcoming game, I hope that he goes completely rogue, because look what he did against the Chargers. Luke Getsy had 0 game plan against the Chargers. 6 targets for number 1 man DJ Moore, 4 receptions for 55 yards. Should have gotten at least 15 targets. Darnell Mooney only had 4 targets. His 1 reception for 41 yards to open up the game. Tyler Scott, 3 targets with 1 reception for 11 yards. So you're telling me, as the offensive coordinator in the NFL, you and your 3 biggest targets to get first downs in the game, you only targeted them 13 times? Cole Kmet went 10 for 10, 10 targets, 10 catches, 79 yards, which is fantastic. Love to see the guy that got paid getting the job done. But a 7.9 yard average, not getting first downs, because literally the offense didn't spread out and Kmet was tackled right away every single time. I really hope Luke Getsy's gone. Anyway, Jaylon Johnson trade rumors now. The 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Bills apparently have shown interest in defensive back Jaylon Johnson. Johnson, a 24-year-old out of Utah, was drafted by Ryan Pace in his last draft as Bears GM, and has become one of the best DBs in the NFL over the last couple of seasons. And he has only gotten better. Johnson so far this year has played in 6 of the Bears' 8 games, starting all 6 of games he appeared in, with 2 interceptions, 1 being returned for a touchdown, 4 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 18 total tackles, 15 being solo, and 1 tackle for loss for a defensive back is pretty darn impressive. Holes cannot trade a guy like this, and here's why. He is too young, he is too good, and he is too homegrown for this. You need to keep guys like this. You can't keep building through the draft. You're actually going back in the rebuild, getting a couple picks for Johnson. Pay this man. Keep him on the roster. Great mentor, learned a ton from Charles Tillman, has learned a ton himself, plays with a chip on his shoulder, very smart player, impactful. I like Jaylon Johnson a lot. I'm just tapping my fingers at this point. But Jaylon Johnson is the guy that Chicago needs to resign. And if Ryan Poles trades him, Ryan Poles' respect in a lot of Bears fans' book, including mine, is going to go down. Literally, if someone were to call me, I am physically slamming my phone hard enough that the entire thing shatters if they're calling for Jaylon Johnson, if I'm Ryan Poles. I think the Bears can buy him the new platinum or titanium, whatever iPhone it is. And my final subject of the day is how I want the Bears to get Chase Young. Bears have the best odds to get Chase Young at 2-1 if the Washington Commanders trade him. And honestly, I'd love it, but for the right price. Washington wants at least a second rounder for Young. Not going to happen, pal. That expiring rookie contract, along with not having to pay the luxury tax on potentially a big extension next year, not going to happen. I'm trading for Chase Young, and I'm not taking on the contract extension from the Commanders, and I have to pay that luxury tax myself. I'm taking a third and a fourth. And if Washington is oh so kind to extend him before trading him, I'll give you a third, a fourth, and a seventh 3 years later. Just me being petty. That's the Bears news for today for you guys. Thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. And I will have all trade deadline Chicago Bears news for you guys right here tomorrow when it happens. So make sure you hit notifications and subscribe. But with that, thank you as always for tuning in to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, bear down, baby.